Oh, we all live, ready. We ready to go. We having fun. Guess what I got? I got my old mic. What's going on? How you feeling? How you living? Hope you're enjoying your week. Hope you're enjoying little 420. Hope you get high with the Lord, if you know what I mean. Have my own coffee. I'm ready. Oh, I got my bro here. What's good? What's good? Let me send him a link. I'm so excited. Yo, we having a legacy conversation. I hope you understand what's going on. Femi, let me know when you're in the New York area. We have the link. Yo, what's going on, my guy, my mans, my bro? Hold on 1 minute. Billy, I just sent you a link, so let's hop on. We'll start our conversation. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, how you feeling? How you living?
I'm feeling good, living good. How you doing?
I knew that the tech guru was on, so I had to make sure I wear my apparels.
I see it, I like it, but it would have been better if I got mine.
I put it in Amazon, but it says too far in the Hamptons.
Nah, we're going to get that. No matter what.
So we just rocking out real quick. Let me give it like 2 seconds. I finally got Mike, so I feel a little cool. What's going on, my bro, Fred? Fred is doing some amazing things. I love what he's doing with Flower with Fred. Every Monday he is dropping heat. He just dropped across a Nas last week with Denzel. He's giving some great fire. My boy Jeff on Wednesday. My bro Jeff on Wednesday dropping more heat. W.ow, Wisdom. Like we are doing so much great things. So we dropped something on Monday. We dropped something on Wednesday. And then we hit you on Thursday.
You guys are busy.
I hope you see what we doing. I hope you see what we doing.
I see
You're
it.
building a whole media company, and you may see Access Podcast, but yo, that's a whole different conversation.
That's down the line. They're not ready for that yet.
I hope you all out there enjoying 420, getting high with the Lord. You see what I did there?
What you sipping on?
Oh, I'm sipping on some coffee because I got to work on a presentation before I go to sleep. So I definitely got to work on a presentation, but I'm so tired. But legacy, I want to have a good conversation tonight. Tonight is about legacy. I hope you guys are on. Just chime in. Share this with somebody. I really want to have a conversation around legacy, and I thought Billy would be an amazing person to have a dialogue with. But before we go, the one thing that we always do in every live, in every video is pray. So I just want to pray real quick. Lord God, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to be a part of your community, allowing us to see you again, Lord God, allowing us to be around you once again, Lord God. Allow our conversation between myself and Billy to break generational cycles. Allow our conversation to say, wow, I didn't even think about it like that. Or I didn't know I could have a legacy conversation with my bro, friend, family member. Allow our dialogue to shift generation. Allow our dialogue to change mindset. Allow our dialogue to change how we just look at life. One of my entrepreneurs once said, wealth looks good on you. And when you are a follower of God, God wants you to look good. So allow this conversation to be a blessing. Allow the conversation to change. In Jesus' name, amen. What's going? How you feeling? How you living? What's going on? What's going on? So, Billy, we know we have a bro check-in. I have a bro check-in every Thursday. So I want people to know a little bit about you before we start.
Well, My name is Billy Duke, born and raised out in Brooklyn.
Ooh,
Haitian American. Grew up in Coney Island. I started in the tech business. I would say I got in the tech industry right out of high school. And it's a funny story because I met a woman on the train, and she overheard me having a conversation with a good friend of mine about how I wasn't being around in the hood anymore. Because I was a knucklehead growing up. So she heard the conversation. I'm doing positive things, and she offered me. She said, "Hey, take down my number." So I took her number down. I went home and I told my mother about this, and my mother was like, it doesn't hurt to call this woman. So I called her the next day, and she said, "Hey, meet me at 1 Prudential." And I'm like, what time? She said, "Meet me there at 10 o'clock in the morning. How should I be dressed?" She said, "Be dressed professional." So I went there, the next day, and I got hired. And I'm like,
on the spot.
what is this? On the spot. That was it.
Ooh.
At the time, they were going from CC Mail to Lotus Note. So she was spearheading that project.
Okay.
So, I got there. I started working for Prudential Securities, and that's how I got to the tech, because at the time I was going to college, but my goal was to be a physical therapist.
Oh, really?
But, after 3 months, they said, "Hey, you know what? We want you to stay on, but only one condition." I said, "What's that?" "You got to switch your major." And I switched my major to CIS, Computer Information System. I was going to Baruch, and the rest is history. Then, I got into tech, and then opened a lot of doors for me, met a lot of great mentors. And then I would say 2012, Jeff and I started JBI Software, which actually stands for Jeff Billy Incorporated Software. So at first it started off because we came up with an idea for real-time translation. Yeah, real-time interpretation and translation.
Okay.
And then now we quickly grew into being a development, company, because we have more products than just that one software. Yeah. So that's my start into tech.
How do you feel about, because that was around 2000, correct?
That I got into it.
Correct.
With the story, actually it was 99.
Wow. So
1999.
99 was not no big fad like in regards to what's happening right now. Like everybody want to be in tech. IG got Tech Guru. They got Copy AI. Shout out to Copy AI. They're not a sponsor, but they'll be a sponsor one day. But how do you feel about individuals in the tech game right now? Respectfully.
Has grown a lot, in my opinion, and it's a bit. What's the word I'm kind of looking for?
Saturated.
It's a bit not. I don't want to say saturated, but the tech industry has become a fad, and there's a lot of so-called techies that's involved, and it's easy to pick up, the language, and you be able to talk the talk. But not everybody could talk the talk and walk the talk when it comes to tech. Like, you're saying Copy AI, and people speak about Chat GPT. But when you ask folks to really break down what's Chat GPT, what is Copy AI, they're going to give you really a watered down, explanation, meaning based on conversations that they had. But Chat GPT, there's a reason why Microsoft is into Chat GPT. There's a reason why Epic, which is one of the largest healthcare EMR EHR software organization, is partnering up with Chat GPT. But it's so much than just what our day-to-day use is. It's being used for. It's basically data, and what are we doing with that data? It's a lot of machine learning. It is a lot of AI, but it's deeper than that. So the whole Silicon Valley, there's a lot going on, but people hear the conversation and people just use the term, not really knowing what they're really talking about. So that's my thing when it comes down to tech. Because back in those days, you had to know what you're talking about. I come from the COBOL days. I come from the Y2K when everybody was scared that the internet was going to crash. I come from the C++, the CompTIA, the A+, the Cisco. Those are my days. But now, you've got a little kid, 15, 16 years old, that's really learning how to code. It's scary, but again, nobody really knows a lot of the stuff they're talking about. They hear the language, they're running with it, but
Yeah.
nobody really know what the meaning behind it really is. And if
Yeah.
they really knew what Chat GPT really represents, it's scary.
Oh, I want to get into it, but I want to introduce the man of the hour, the man of the century, my bro Jeff. What's going on, bro? Partner in crime of JBI Software. So I just want to say salute. He's a brother, so I just want to introduce yourself, but I want you to plug in real quick your Wednesday podcast before we start.
Now, of course, what's good, everybody? You already know it's 1/3 Top Shelf podcast. And, of course, I have my WoW podcast that drops every Wednesday, the Words of Wisdom podcast. We just had a new episode that's dropped yesterday called Man Who Finds a Wife Finds a Good Thing. This is based off of Proverbs 18, verse 22. It's available now on YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts as well. Really great conversation. I just wanted to join real quick because, of course, I have my brother over here. I never really call him my cousin. I call him my brother because maybe we grew up with each other. My mom, his mom were both sisters, for those who don't know, but they were more like best friends and sisters than anything else. And I've seen Billy really stay diligent and consistent with JBI Software, even though this was something that we both started, but I see he took the baton and ran with it. Even when I wasn't fully focused on it, he really has, and he's making so many connections. He's doing such amazing things.
Fact.
Billy's a phenomenal dude, and anybody that knows him, he knows every and everybody.
I did not know that.
Billy knows everybody, but there's a reason behind it, though. There's a blessing behind it because not only he has the personality, the likable personality. He's. You think I'm very direct? Billy's more direct than anybody that I know. And people respect that. There's a lot of respect and honor that people give him. So because of that, there's a reason why it's not by coincidence that with JBI Software and all the other things that he's doing, so many other doors are starting to open up and he's building more and more connections. Because obviously, in order to break into the tech industry or any industry in general, you have to be a social person, right? You can have the knowledge, you can have the idea, but you have to be able to connect the dots when having those conversations with people who's going to want to invest. You have to paint the vision to them that's very simple, very direct, to where a baby can understand it. And Billy does such an amazing job with that. So that's why I said it's not by accident that he knows so many different people, and he's on the bro checking him. So I'm very, very happy about that when he told me he was going to join and be a part of it. And he's just a great person to connect with, man. So I just wanted to jump in real quick because I'm in the middle of cooking. I'm the chef of the crib. Yeah, I just wanted to jump in real quick just to, not only show my faith, but to support my brother, my two brothers that's on here, man. Anthony, keep doing your thing, man, with Access Tech. Keep doing your thing with the bro check-in. The sky's the limit. Do not allow any and anything to prevent you from reaching your goal. Don't allow anybody to prevent you from reaching your goal. If you got to cut things off, cut things off. Do what you have to do, because when God gives you a dream, He gives you a vision, you got to take that aside. You got, just like what Billy does, you got to take that baton and run with it. Do not allow anybody to prevent you from doing what needs to be done. Believe me, trust me on that, because that's what separates those who become great versus those who end up being pulled back and not able to accomplish their dreams, because they're allowing other people to be their chain and balls, because what they see is not their reality. And so because of that, they try to make that your reality. And that's not how things work, man.
Yo, thank you.
Of course,
That's
man.
all I can say. Thank you for giving me that flower. Thank you for giving Billy his flower as well.
Of course.
Salute you, King.
Most definitely. All right, I'm going to let y'all get back to y'all thing, because it's y'all thing right here. I'm going to go back to the kitchen, but I'll be on the chat, man.
No problem, boys.
All right.
I see my boy Kip join, Fashion Plus Nutrition. Shout out to Kip.
What's going on?
Fashion Plus Nutrition.
Let's go.
Yo, Billy, I want to start this conversation because this conversation is all about legacy. Because I'm really intrigued about the word legacy, and I want to know, how do you live out your day-to-day life as a father, as a CEO, as a man, as a husband, as a friend, as a brother? How do you live out a legacy lifestyle, and what does that look like for you?
I do with passion, and my mindset is to provide, a lifestyle, like you said, a legacy for my kids, and that's what really drives me. But more importantly, is my mother, my grandmother, because
Mm.
growing up, they always told me that I was special. And like I said, I was a, I was a smart knucklehead. So I wanted to make them proud. So I really do it for my mother, my grandmother, and really my kids.
Mm.
And as Jeff said, I get a lot of support. A lot of people support me, friends and family, because I'm the person that you can come to, you can count on, and I never have no hate, no jealousy in my heart. I always want to see people
That's
win.
a fact.
So wherever I can add value, I'm going to add value. And if I can't directly add value, somebody that I'm connected with is going to add value. So my purpose every day is to make sure that both my son and daughter have a life that I didn't technically have. And growing up, our life wasn't bad, to be honest with you. It was normal. We grew up in Coney Island, we grew up in the project, but lives. We can't say that, there was anything that we needed or we lacked of.
Mm.
The love was there, the support was there 100%. And
Mm.
that's what I feed off of. So
Mm.
when I leave this earth, I want to make sure that these two are good. So I treat everybody with respect. I treat everybody with patience. And, I'm a human being, so I have my moments. But more importantly, I know for a fact if anything was to happen to me, just off the support and love that I have from my friends and family, my kids are going to be okay.
So in this conversation, it sounds like you're a giver. And if I'm wrong, let me know. It sounds like you're a giver. You give, 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 give. How do you know when you're giving too much?
So much when it's not appreciated, and when it's not being appreciated. I'm going to give you an example. When somebody's always for support or for whatever, but whenever you call them, they're not available. But
Mm.
being, so you're giving too much at that point.
And I think one thing I'm learning is, and you guys are like legacies. Or how like when people are old, I call them legacies. So it's like you guys, you and Jeff are legacies in my circle around me, and I'm always trying to understand like how do you give, 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 and then not give back, and then figure it out, but also being authentic, your true authentic self. So like how you're saying is like, yo, at the end of the day, I'm gonna show up, but you're gonna start at 100%. You yourself is gonna bring yourself down to 50, and then my loyalty is gonna step back. The privilege is gonna step back. So, in loyalty, how you define loyalty, or I'm gonna step back a little bit further. Who taught you the way you think?
Growing up in a West Indian household, watching, my grandmother, my mother, Jeff's parents, just watching the way they interacted with themselves, the way they carried themselves, the relationships that they had, so that value was instilled in us, to treat people how we want to be treated. But I give because in order for you to receive, you got to give. It's like when you go to church, you give and the universe gives back to you. But often enough, because we're givers, we attract leeches as well. So you got to be able to cut the leeches off, because if you don't, then eventually they're going to eat you.
I gotta ask this question, bro. How do you know when they're leashes? Like, how do you? Because leeches can come in. They come and be. They are. They can be articulate. They can love you. But how do you know when it's like, yeah, this person should get out the limo, or this person should get out my kitchen, or this person should get around my table? Like, how do you know? Is it a spirit? Is it a spiritual thing? You just know as a person growing up in Coney Island, me, Flossie, Canarsie. How do you know? I think what I'm trying to do, because on the people on the live, we're a solution based. So I want to make sure when we put this on, when we share on our IG live, they understand like, okay, these are the solutions of how you know when to be like, yo, this person's a leash, and you can see the signs. So I want you to give people signs, and if you could use real examples from you yourself, whatever you want to use, I would love that, because I want people to understand leashes can dress up too.
And like I said before, it's basically, realizing that, you always there for them, you always got their back, but whenever you need something, they're not there. So, for me, it's like I've experienced that a lot, and I was upset about it,
Yeah.
but then I saw the value in it. Because one thing I've learned in my journey is to accept people for who they are. So when somebody shows you who they really are, and you're like, no, man, you're not really like this. I need you to be better. You're the problem. They're not the problem.
Yep.
Because they're saying to you, like, hey, bro, this is who I am.
Yep.
So if you have
Yep.
somebody in your
Yep.
circle right now that they could count on you, but you can't count on them, that's a leash.
And I think my wife and I, we've been having these conversations these couple of weeks, and we're just talking about like family, friends group, things of that nature. And one thing she always said that sticks in my head is like, you might have an unrealistic expectation for somebody that they can't meet. And I had to learn that. I'm like, damn, you know what? You might be right. I had to be like, and for me, it's like, I might not say you right at that moment, because I got to analyze everything. I got to put things together. I'm like, oh, that's why that happened.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Because you
and you get
stressing
that
yourself out.
realization, like, damn, I did set myself up because I saw the signs, but I wanted great for them. So how do you install, as a CEO, I'm not sure if you have staff at this moment, but how do you install leadership qualities in people, or leadership and loyalty in these people? Yes, loyalty cannot be something that you can have. I feel like you have to be born with it. It's a way of characteristics. But at the same time, how do you build that in another person? How do you build that with your son?
Example, you would like to show them. So I always lead by example. So, my son watched me. I take him to things with me. Sometimes when I have a meeting, I let him listen in, and I say, hey, this
Ooh,
is
I
how
love it.
daddy do it. These are the things that, you should do. But you can only go but so far with that. The person could take it in and then turn around and not apply it. They can only apply it when they're around you. So one of the things that, again, I've learned in the past 10, 15 years is to accept and meet people where they at. And
That's beautiful.
that's all you can do, because your expectation for them is not the expectations of themselves. So then you get frustrated, because you're a good person. You asking me to be a good person. I'm not a good person. I'm a piece of shit. So you don't want me to be a piece of shit, but this is who I am. I'm a piece of shit. And that's just how it is. So you gotta accept a piece of shit and let them realize what you can do, what you can get out of the piece of shit. The piece of shit may have a value that you got to meet them where they at. You're a piece of shit. Okay, cool. I'm gonna meet you where you at. Like you have
I
a
think
party friend.
the visual I hear, the visual I see is like when you're trying to turn a wolf into a sheep. That it's just they're basically
It's
their
not gonna
nature.
happen.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
literally their
yeah,
nature
yeah.
of who they are. They're a
So the problem is
wolf.
really you. When you really
Yo,
think
they're
about it,
literally
you're
a
the problem.
wolf.
Yeah, they're like, listen, I'm a wolf and you want me to be a sheep, or I'm a sheep and you want me to be a wolf. I'm being who I am. You gotta accept me for who I am. It's like, you're in a relationship right now, we all married, whatever the case may be. And, one of the things I've learned in my journey is to accept my wife for who she is. I'm not trying to make her to be somebody that she's not. This is who she is. And once I've learned to accept her for that, things have gotten much better. Not to say we had problems, but once you accept somebody for who they are, you're able to navigate through that relationship a little bit better, because your expectations are not, as high as they are. Okay, this is who this person is. Cool, no problem. So I know I can count on X, Y, and Z, and that's it. So that way now when I need A, B, and C, this person don't deliver A, B, and C, I can't count on them for A, B, and C. They're not an A, B, and C person. They're X, Y, and Z person. So
you speaking too spicy. You speaking real. And I think I want to understand more about the relationship part. Is as an entrepreneur and as a legacy builder, what does support look like while building that in your marriage? What conversations do you have with your wife? And is she what conversation are you having with your wife when it comes to legacy? How do you have that conversation? And on top of that layer, what does support look like for you as you build this legacy?
your partner, once they trust you that you can lead, and you've shown that you're an actual leader, and then you show your actions and your plans and the conversation you have, she just believes in me, and that's it. We have the trust. She believes in me, and whatever support that I need, she has my back. If I need to fly down to Miami for a couple of days to go take care of a business meeting, there's no, oh, you sure you're going to Miami? Or no problem, babe. What do you need? Let's make it happen. Yeah, I need you to hold it down with the kids. I'll be back. Financially, no problem. What is it that you need? Because she realizes I'm not doing it for me. I've lived. I'm doing it for these two. So the support is always going to be there. We've lived already. We had a good life. Our relationship, 22 years. We've traveled. We've done a lot together. So,
but I want to push you. I want to create a different thought mind because this is bro check-in. You're still able to live, so don't say that you lived already.
yeah.
You can live more. I don't know if you've been to Brazil, but you can go to Brazil. I don't know if you've been to China. No, don't go to China yet. But and I think what I'm learning and what you're saying is you are an action-based person. You and Jeff have done action and consistency. Those two things are very key when it comes to Jeff. Those two things are very key when it comes to you. And when action and consistency coexist, I believe that's where the entrepreneur begins. Entrepreneur is not just like same with tech, not this nice cliche word. It's a mindset. It's who you are. We just put a word on it. Our mothers was an entrepreneur when they were learn how to braid, but they didn't know they were entrepreneur. Our dad, when he said, "Yo, I'm gonna go cut some grass," and the person gave him $100, he didn't know he was an entrepreneur. He kept on doing it, and now he does millions of lawns around the world. They didn't know they were entrepreneurs, and that's why I go back to entrepreneur. It's not just that cliche word; it's a mindset. And with mindset, how do you define Black excellence?
Excellence. And it's just my opinion. Looking out for your own community. Um, One of the things that I can honestly say I admire about the Jewish community is they only work with each other. They'll hire you as an employee, but as far as really breaking bread, contract-wise, they're gonna go out there and they're gonna find
And
another
that's no
Jewish
thing
vendor.
wrong with that.
And for me, Black excellence is making sure your community is
Yeah.
safe,
Yeah.
making sure you are an example of what a true leader should be, making sure your family is taken care of. More importantly, you continue to educate yourself, educate your community, be a person of value, be supportive, keeping your word. A lot of people like to throw that word Black excellence around, but like I said, it has different meanings. But for me, is just being who you really are, stepping into your true self, your true purpose. A lot of us don't know what our purpose is, so we run around this whole world, in disguise, trying to find ourselves. And that's why there's so much lost souls. But if you sit back and really pay attention, life is going to give you a sign. It's going to pull you into what your purpose is. But if you're not paying attention, you're always going to pull away. So for me, it's like as a kid growing up, I always liked tech, but like I said, we're from Coney Island. All we had was, sports, entertainment, and drugs. So, going to school, within our community, nobody going to college, making it out of high school, that's something big. So once we passed that step, it was like, okay, now what's next? So for me, it's like I got into, my own business because, Jeff and I got into the whole EMR, EHR industry, and I saw how lucrative it was. But more importantly, I saw how much money that these making versus what I was making. And it was 10 times more. I'm like, shit, they could do it. They don't even know what the hell I'm doing. They don't know tech. The only thing they do is a face, and they go in there, they talk the business talk. I could learn that. So once I learned that, I was like, sky's the limit now. And so now I'm doing the hard work. So then I could be the one on the other end. And my goal is to, once I scale up to the point where I can go back and I'm only going to hire Black and brown people because I want to bring that. Yeah, the Chinese people do it, the Jewish people do it, Indian people do it. We're the only ones that don't do it.
Yo, it was so funny, and I love this conversation. I told you we have a legacy conversation tonight. So me and my wife, we went to Target on Sunday, and I'm guessing somebody, a Jewish lady got sick. She didn't, come to, not you, but the person that is in the back of the class, I need you to come to the front of the class real quick. She didn't call 911. Her child is literally sick. She called a Jewish ambulance. You saw a Jewish cop. You saw a Jewish ambulance. They had a whole. I want you to listen to the word I'm about to use because I'm very particular. They had a whole system. So I call A, call B, but they never called 911. Why? Because like my brother said, they built in the system. So it's not like, we gotta, no, it's not. They normalize a lifestyle of community. And when I saw that, I was like, wow. And I think I always say to myself, and I said this on many of our podcasts when we get to this type of conversation, me personally, I don't know if the Black community is going to be able to do that. But in my community, when I'm having a conversation with Billy, when I'm having a conversation with Jeff, or when I'm having a workshop with my Black and brown boys and girls, and I say, yo, if I have steak, guess what? You got steak. If I got $1, guess what? You got 25 cents, you got 25 cents, you got 25 cents. Because at the end of the day, I look like this. I don't even know who the tax man is, but I got to give that person his money at the end of the year. So if I got to think like that, he wants his money. Why can't I give somebody else the money? Why got to be greedy with it? It's not me. I'm just working in my gift. I'm just working in my purpose. Yo, that got me really upset because like, yo, what if we could have just lived that lifestyle? And it's not a lifestyle. What if we just normalize that community? It happened before. It was here before. But I hopefully I can be able to see it not just in my ecosystem, but in different ecosystems where we come together when it's now a village.
That look like us, unfortunately, when they have that opportunity, they get up there and they turn their back on us.
Yep.
They get into the door, and instead of them unlocking other doors, they literally lock the door on us.
Yep.
And that's the thing that I always say that, you can't really trust a lot of us. That community, they have real leaders. Us, our leaders are celebrities and athletes. What can a celebrity and athlete really do, right? Besides give out turkeys and give out, sports apparel. There's no real foundation. There's no real, like a system for us. And that's by design.
Yep. And I thought I was teaching this workshop, and I was talking about environmental design, because one of the students I asked, like, if you had $1 million, what you would do, and he said, and about 2 or 3 of them said, like, yo, I would move my mom out the hood. And I asked him, and that's why it's so important. The questions you ask our Black and brown boys and girls is like, why you want to take your mom out the hood? How about we try something a little bit different? How about you take that $1 million and build a house apartment? How about you put a program? How about you say, you know what? That Chinese food store, They can't have that here. How about you make sure you vote? And he said, Ms. Thompson, why are we going to do all that? Because what I just told you, you built the whole community. Oh, I didn't even look at it like that. I just want to take my mom out the hood because that's what all the rappers do. Are you the rapper? I'm teaching about entrepreneurship. I'm teaching about you see a problem, you create a solution. And that's what we need to be doing. When we hear a conversation, not just laugh it off, but say, whoa, 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 come here, bro. And I think that's what we're losing, mentors. Now, we're losing mentors. We're losing people saying, young man, young woman, yo, come here. Let's have a conversation. Even if you curse me out, no problem. Cool. Still come here. And I think, how do you define mentorship? And do you even have a mentor, Billy?
And I mentor myself. You can't just have one mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have several, because mentoring, the word mentoring is so broad. Because each individual brings a different type of value. Each individual brings a different type of style. So I have a mentor for personal life, then I have a mentor for business. Then I have a mentor that whenever I need, it's a spiritual mentor. So I always tell people, depending on where you're at in life, but you definitely need somebody who's been there and who doesn't mind sharing that wisdom. So for me, mentoring is sharing wisdom, and it's like you ace the test, right? You got an A+. Now I'm taking the test,
Mm.
so you're not gonna allow me to fail, right? Because you already got the answers.
Mm.
So you're gonna help me study, and you're gonna help me get that
Mm.
A+.
Mm.
So that's what to me mentoring is.
So good. How would you title this season of your life?
Right now, currently, what I'm in is um the blessing season.
Mm.
I would say I'm
Talk
starting
that
to
talk.
see a lot of my hard work is starting to really pay off. I've been tested a
Mm.
lot. And there were times I did want to quit, but then I get that reminder, reason why I got to stay in. And now I'm starting to see the value. I'm starting to see my hard work
Yeah.
come into light. But I needed the right people, because I already knew that I couldn't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had to come along and say, "Don't worry, I got you."
Mm-hmm.
And we met a lot of people throughout the journey that said they could do stuff, and it was all fluff. It was all bullshit. But now we got the right people that said, okay, you know what? Like I just, earlier on, because I couldn't get on at 9 o'clock with you, I had one of our investors, and we're moving forward with this gentleman. And one of the things he said to me, he's like, I love your idea. I love your software. I love your product. I have no idea. I have no doubt that it's gonna, make us a lot of money. It's gonna make us rich. But he said, I'm not investing in your product. I'm investing in you. And this is the conversation in the car. And I said, why you say that? He said, no. He said, I see the potential. He said, I see the type of person that you are. He says, you give back, you care. And he said, I'm investing in you. I'm investing in your character, your personality. And he said, I have a conversation with a bunch of people. He had a conversation with some Russian guys earlier today. He said, I love their product, but I could tell their spirit wasn't right. But he said, with you,
Mm-hmm.
I get a calm, ease, motivated, positive spirit. So he said, I'm investing in you. So he said, I'm going to plug you in with the lawyer. I'm going to plug you in with the CFO, and we're going to move this thing forward.
I think one thing that was so powerful, bro. And I think one thing I'm gonna tie it right back into the blessing season. My season is called transition. My season is a transitional season, and that's why I title it. I've been doing so many things in regards of emailing because I realized my gift is for the youth. And I've done so much for the last 11 years, and I said to myself, have a 9 to 5. I think one of our alumni that's been on our podcast named Ernest, shout out to Ernest, he said something that was so powerful in our last podcast, season 1, was the one thing that he said that he got back was his time. And I think as entrepreneurs, yes, we are entrepreneurs, and yes, we're on the grind. We're doing our phone calls, we're doing investment. But the beauty is the time. Being able to pick up your child at 3 o'clock, being able to be at a parent conference, being able to have time with your wife, or say, hey honey, I put out my schedule, I talk to everybody. This weekend we're going to Jamaica. We're going to Brazil. Having your time back, and you're the ownership of your time. And I think that's the most powerful thing that you have. And the transition season for me is being able to say, all right, Anthony, this is something that's a gift for you. It's a purpose for you. But you literally have to be consistent. You literally have to make sure that you are disciplined. Sending out your emails, following up on your email, having a conversation, making sure your PowerPoint is good. And I give a real joke. And that's why I say, huh?
I said, create your LinkedIn account.
Oh yes, I create my LinkedIn account. I give a real joke, and I'm gonna come right back to you, King. So I have a contract that is working on, and I started on Saturday. Love this principle, and I'm gonna tell this story again and again. But I'm gonna tell the story today. So I do like this entrepreneurship / social emotional workshop for fifth grade to eighth grade at a middle school in Brooklyn. And I sent her a PowerPoint. She loves me, and I know that. But in the PowerPoint, she said, she's Jamaican, so she said, Anthony, I looked at your PowerPoint. You have an entrepreneur program, but the entrepreneur word is spelled wrong. Yo, in my heart, in my soul, I laugh. But I said to myself, like, yo, she could have been someone that said, oh, yo, I see your PowerPoint, and it's pushed me to the side. But she said, fix that and send it back to me so I can send it to the parents. I want you to step back, and you got to step back a little bit and hear what I'm saying to you people. She said to fix it, and then I'm going to send it back. I look at the middle part. She still believed in me. And in this season, I want people to believe in you. I want people to be in your circle, to giving you a clap, being accountable for you, laughing with you, and challenging you at the same time. And that's why I said I'm in my transitional season. Same with you. And I think that's a blessing season where it's like, yo, I finally am at a place where it feels good. So when you go in a workshop, it's like, this is just a lifestyle. Yo, Anthony, how you do that? I don't know. It's God. Yo, I'll be like, yo, how you just came up with that? And you tell me to write it down? I'm like, yo, I don't remember what I did, bro. It's all God. So in this season, how do you put God in the forefront?
In every season.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I start in the morning, I start with prayer and meditation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. The minute my feet hit the ground, I got to give thanks for, just opening my eyes, because the thing about it is we go through our life daily and not even realizing that every single day, thousands and thousands of people don't wake up. So
You preaching, bro.
I meditate. I don't know what's in store for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask for grace. I ask for patience. I ask for clarity. So these are the things that I ask for. So I put them first, second, and third, because without him, I wouldn't even be here. And I always tell people one day I'm gonna write a book to share my unique story. There's a lot about me that not the world don't really know, and where I shouldn't be here, but I'm here for a reason, and I'm gonna focus on that reason. I'm gonna give thanks to who's responsible for me to still be here today, to even have this conversation with you, man.
Nah, bro, this was a blessing, bro. I like to end up this conversation with this week was really tough for me because I saw somebody transition. And I say transition and died. And it was sudden. And it was like I didn't know this person from like a hole in the wall. But this person was very her soul, her spirit was so amazing. One of the things that the pastor said is like, she's going home first class. And when he said that, I was like, ooh, it hurt my soul. Because I know that she's going home first class because of just her spirit of who she is. So I ask you this question. When you go to the pearly gate and God says, son, well done, what will be your first sentence? Yeah, you can. Put it in the chat. Yeah, you can. Oh, that's real. That's real. That's real. And you said, where's your mother, correct? That's real. That's real. And I think, and this is where we honor and as rest in peace as well. But this is where we honor and this is where we give flowers. And I said thank you again, bro. I think I wanted you to come back. I want you to come back on. I think I want to get more in depth, just in regards to emotional, social emotional thoughts, and just being able to build with you some more. This is an amazing conversation. What's your final thought, King?
I support, anyone that, I see has a passion. Often enough, people get into space because it's a fad. They get into a space, just because they wanna do something cool. But when you guys started this whole podcast, journey, I heard the passion in Jeff's voice. And then when you and I connected at my event for Blacks in Technology, which I'm one of the e-board members for the NYC chapter. We're doing a lot of great things, a lot of events. But one of the conversations we were having was about Access Tech. And I heard the passion in your voice. And I said to myself, he's stepping into, his purpose. And wherever I can add value, I'm going to do my best to add value. And so that's why I'm here.
I appreciate that, King. You don't know. I think, and another thing I think in my season, in my chapter 1 is like that I got you. And I think I'm also gonna write a book that is like this journey is so hard, but it's so beautiful. Like it's so hard, but it's so beautiful. And I got you. It's more of like I can step back and know you write me a text and like, yo, I got you, and I believe it. You and Jeff, I really believe that. And I'm like, yo, a lot of people can say I got you, but you won't hear from them. So I thank you. I salute you, and I give you your flowers. So thank you again, boss.
Whatever you need, you know how to reach me, man. I want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody step into their purpose. But more importantly, I want to see everybody do what they are here to do.
No problem, King. Yo, this is Bro Check In. How you doing? How you feeling? Yo, you can catch my brother on Wednesday. You can catch my brother on Monday. Yo, we building the empire. Stay tuned. Top Shelf Production. Peace.